Hey guys, Typical Wrestling here. We got the WWE save, we got the PG era, Friday Night SmackDown, week 4 of July, right after Cyber Sunday and the Fallout. We got 21,000 people at the Staples Center, and we got an exciting edition of Monday Night, not Monday Night Raw. I just said SmackDown. Oh my god. Somebody slap me. Anyway, if you're wondering why it's opening with SmackDown, Superstars, the video I recorded got corrupted, and I was going to go re-record it, but I honestly didn't give a fuck. Literally nothing important happened on SmackDown. Not SmackDown, Cyber Sunday. Maybe it's... God, Superstars. Can I not talk in the opening? You know why? It's because Sin Cara is on the screen, and Sin Cara botches, so I gotta botch the whole opening. I've recorded this like 2 times now, so we're going with it, brother. So we have a pre-show match. Pre-show match. We have the Usos and Justin Gabriel, Sin Cara. Got 2 face tag teams taking on Lord Tensai, Curtis Axel, and the American Wolves, with Justin Gabriel hitting the 450 splash on a Davey Richards to get the pin. Davey wishes. Any improvements? Jayus was improving in rumbling, Davey Richards in flying, and Eddie Edwards in performance. So we open up with a recap of Cyber Sunday's main event. John Cena, Ted DiBiase Jr., Rey Mysterio, Mark Henry. We see where John Cena retained his championship despite Mr. McMahon blatantly screwing him out of the trying to screw him out of the championship. After John Cena, the referee was supposed to be Triple H. Do the Cyber Sunday pull. John Cena beat him up, and thus Mr. McMahon had to take his place. We have an announcer talk about tonight in the closing segments of the show. It has been announced on WWE.com. Cena will be in the ring to learn of his Summerslam opponent, courtesy of Vince McMahon himself. So the boss is in the building, and he's going to tell Cena who he's going to fight at SummerSlam. And you open up with a decent match between Mr. Money in the Bank, Sheamus, and Xavier Woods. Sheamus and Xavier Woods obviously kind of opening up on their... they're opening up on their... this is the first time they have great chemistry, which is awesome. They take a lot out of each other in this match. Mr. Money in the Bank Sheamus has a lot to prove. He's yet to cash in. Not even really like highlighting that he's gonna I'm gonna cash in. He hasn't even really done that. Xavier Woods as well. Xavier Woods is trying to prove himself as the NXT champion to hold the line. Obviously, it's not for the NXT championship. And it ends when Sheamus beats him due to Austin Aries' interference. From Austin Aries leads to a bro kick in 18 minutes, allowing Sheamus to secure the win, riding the momentum of nearly killing Kevin Nash at that one pay-per-view. And we have after his victory, Sheamus picks up the mic and says that at Cyber Sunday, Kevin Nash's career finally died, and he was the one to do it. He's just laminating the fact that he could be the one to retire Kevin Nash. This brings out the icon, Sting. We haven't seen Sting for a while. Apparently he's drafted to SmackDown. Sting marches down the ramp saying that Sheamus is a disgrace to this business. He admits that maybe Nash and himself included probably should have went into the sunset a long time ago, but this is an industry of respect, and that goes both young and old. The young respect the old respect the new. And Sheamus is just a no-good youngster who's barely gotten a taste of fame. Now he thinks he can be judging people, and now he thinks he can be ending careers, and it's just disgraceful. Sheamus says the real disgrace is old bastards like Sting still walking around, and offer Sting a match against Alberto Del Rio. This is not... Hold on, right? So later next week. I don't know why I wrote tonight. Next week. So it's next week, brother. Which Sting accepts after Sheamus leaves Sting alone so he accepts the match. I was like, I'll fight Alberto Del Rio next week. Sting leaves Sheamus alone in the ring, and Sheamus is like, it's kind of like something like we're not supposed to see. As if the camera should have been off. Sheamus is leaving the ring when all of a sudden the house lights, all the lights in the arena just flicker. Like they just go on and off, on and off, on and off, like a Bray Wyatt type thing. And then it calms back down. And it startles the crowd a lot, and Sheamus is visibly confused and startled by it. But apparently, it does not affect him much in any way. So go to our next match. We have another decent match between Dolph Ziggler and Frankie Kazarian, the youngster known as Frankie Kazarian. They have good chemistry, and it's a good match. But Dolph Ziggler, the main WWE veteran, is able to beat Frankie in 14 minutes, 14 seconds by pinfall with a zigzag. And we see, we're backstage now. Mr. McMahon is shown getting ready for his big announcement when Stephanie and the SmackDown GM Shawn Michaels enter, both of them clearly distressed. Vince asks Steph how Triple H is doing. He looked fine on Raw, and Steph says he's at home tonight resting up from that brutal attack before practically sobbing at Vince to say to not go through with this. Shawn agrees, saying as Smack did he could have made a variety of different matches for John. He could have picked any opponent, but Mr. McMahon insists that the right thing must be done. So, what is the right thing? Will we ever know? We'll have to find out. And we have a decent match, a lot of B matches. Matches aren't really the more important thing going on here, more so the just kind of, like the angles going on here. We have a decent match. The Divas of Doom defeat Lay Cool in 1816 when Natalya defeats Michelle McCool by submission with the sharpshooter. They're just kind of like a Divas tag match. And we see Dolph Ziggler. He's walking backstage drinking some water post-match. We had that match with Frankie Kazarian. When he stumbles, he sees the Bellas. Their room is open. He checks his breath, smells that, before asking what their problem is. Nikki says she couldn't believe cheerleader Melissa could do this to them after all they've been through in their return to the WWE. We've had the Photoshop stable, not really too prevalent. But like in the early days of the Save, they were pretty kind of like relevant in the tag team, the women's Divas division. 2 botches in a row. Oksana is obviously their manager. She kind of is more like on the sidelines there. They brought in cheerleader Melissa. She was kind of like the muscle, so to say, of the Photoshop. But kind of the one who would eat a pin to the less popular stars in reality. But more so, they were kind of teaching her like a protege type thing. But all of a sudden, the TV behind them, like in a WWE locker room, like segment where they have sometimes they have a TV back there, or think of 2K19 in the locker room, they got that TV. The TV behind them starts to freak out. It just weird shit's just popping up. And all of a sudden, the camera zooms in. They get the cameraman there, and we see Astra Dunla and Melissa on the screen. Melissa's standing there, seemingly shed of the cheerleader. She looks different. She looks like she does in her little picture there. Astrid says Melissa's soul has been freed of the vices of the outside world, and soon I'll be right in WWE once more. And then an army is coming, and if the Bellas were smart, they'd have stayed away from the WWE and wouldn't have returned. The TV then immediately shuts off, and we see the Oksana and the Bellas have fainted long ago. Dolph freaks out. He calls for medical for them. But before he does that, he checks his water, makes sure it's not spiked with anything, make sure he wasn't high from what he just saw. So the mystery of cheerleader Melissa is long gone, and now Melissa is in her place, and Buggy Nova and her weird Skyrim-themed name are running rampant on SmackDown, brother. And we have finally in our main event, we have Rey Mysterio teaming up with the tag team champions, the Second City Selfies, taking on the former champs, Motor City Machines, and the Intercontinental Champion, Ryback. And it ends when Rey Mysterio defeated Ryback by pinfall with a 619 into the Frog Splash. Side note, Ryback was angry about taking the pin to Rey Mysterio, even though Ryback has less pop than him. So, in case you weren't aware that I fucking hate Ryback, I fucking hate Ryback. And fuck him, because he's acting like a dick, so now I gotta pay him a bunch of money. He actually did as good as Rey, so maybe there's that. But, and he's improving still, but still, fuck Ryback. But now we're in the main event, brother. We're at the real shit. And we see John Cena is in the ring. We cut back commercial. He's awaiting Mr. McMahon, set to reveal a SummerSlam opponent. He power walks to the ring, microphone in hand, and he begins to talk. Vince says, "I made you, Cena. Damn it. No, I'm not going to do that. I've molded you out of clay, and this is the thanks I get." You know what? No, I should have seen this coming. Every time I try to make the big guy the big star. It always bites me in my ass. Hogan had a long run, but he never knew when to quit. He always had to have his damn way, and when it wasn't good enough, he left for easier money down in WCW. Now he's in that Florida shithole I don't even know the name of. Bret was a professional, but he was too damn professional. He took everything, every blight against him, so seriously. I'm surprised he even made it out of the business the shape he's in now. Stone Cold would have been my greatest creation, but that wasn't my doing. He did that on his own. I just happened to roll with him. He did his thing, I did mine right along with him. He just happened to be the right person at the right time. But without him, WWE might not be here today. Dwayne got too big. I made him too big a star. As soon as Hollywood flashed some cash for him from, the damn Scorpion King, he took his ball and he ran right home. Finally, we have you, John. When you debuted, I looked in your eyes when I asked for ruthless aggression. I saw what you were capable of. But was I impressed? No, not at all. I was scared. I knew that aggression would come loose one day and cost not just you, but everybody the hard work we'd put into you. I thought I could fight it. I thought if I put you in the shirts, I gave you the armbands and made all the rules PG, we could have had a money load. I could have restricted that aggression. You think I went PG for Linda? I could give two shits about sponsors. I did it to protect everyone from you. I thought I had you figured out. I guess that don't mean anything now. We're not PG anymore anyway. Looking at the past 5 months, all the carnage you've caused, the money we've had to burn cleaning up your little mess with Dwayne and everything else, it's no surprise that the board of directors wants my ass. Last night was the straw that broke their back. They said it was unprofessional behavior of how I made myself the guest referee, and they seemed twice as mad that I can get the belt off you. Long story short, I was given till the SmackDown after Summerslam to get the belt off you, or I would lose all power and shares that I own at World Wrestling Entertainment. I could just vacate the belt, but I know you too well right now. I know that you'd just be back for more. You'd probably do something you'd regret later on. So I'm going to go with the Hail Mary option. I picked the perfect opponent for you, John. The only man in the entire wrestling industry that has the same ruthless aggression as you. The only one that has the grapefruits to take you out. Your opponent for SummerSlam? It's me, Cena. It's been me all along. And Vince drops the mic and he just stares at Cena. Cena stares at him back as SmackDown goes off the air. Holy shit. 87B. Very I figure with the matches, but I want to do more on the angles here. But damn, John Cena's gonna fight Mr. McMahon at SummerSlam. This is not the original direction I had it. This is a very Hail Mary option here. But you know what? As soon as I had the idea, I knew I had to go for it. I knew I just had to do it. So I want to thank you guys all for watching, even after that bombshell has just dropped. And well, I guess I'll see you next time.